behalf of Graphic Stanbic, I want to thank you for coming, and particularly to our very distinguished panel. The subject is a matter that between Graphic and ourselves, we think we have to bring the best brains to deal with it. So we have a country, we all know the importance of governments around the world. And governments and the country is developed through tax revenues and other revenues of state. I think for anybody following the economy of Ghana, and I see Mr. Seth Tekpe here, I always say that he's the best technician that I've known in the Ministry of Finance. You have consistently over the years a revenue number that is allocated in a very, very lopsided manner. And we don't seem to have, or we don't seem to take a break to understand how do we reverse it. So our view is, and if you look at the data, about 70% of the revenue that we collect in Ghana is allocated to maintaining the public service. That is just the recurrent salaries and services of public servants, who number roughly 600 to 650,000 out of a population now of 26 million people. 70% of our country's revenue is used to maintain that, and they're important. About 20-25%, I'm sure the technocrats will have the numbers. Again, it's used to service maturing loans and interest payments falling due within the fiscal year. So if you do the maths, we have just less than about 10-15% left to transform the country. We think this is not the way to go. If you look at comparator countries, they do between 35 to 40% of revenue maintaining their government recurrent expenditure. But we seem to be growing, aligning, putting more of our revenue just looking at wages and salaries of less than a million people out of the 26 million of Ghana. And I stress their work is very important. But it's to answer the question, how do we reverse this trend? And that's why we have assembled these very distinguished personalities to start a national discourse, I hope, that we can all apply our minds to in order to see a reversal of that unfavorable trend. So on this note, I want to say once again, on behalf of my friends in Graphic, thank you very much for coming, and let's give our audience the challenge that they need so that they can tell us the truth, nothing but the truth. Thank you very much.